stories, the various different stories, the different Atma Pramanas, the Apta Pramanas, or the of Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara, as well as the references in the Hindu scriptures, and of course the references, significance in the life of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. Venkateshwara is one of the most powerful modern day incarnations who happened in the Kali Yuga. Mahavishnu came down as Sheshadri Swamigal, and Bhudevi took birth as Padmavati, and they got married and stayed in the planet Earth with the body for at least 200 years and created a beautiful kingdom, blessing the devotees with wealth, health, and all the auspicious things. He decided to stand in Tirumala, making himself available to all the devotees. Venkateshwara just became a deity. The very body, how he is standing, he just became the Archavatar. And the Archavatar means the incarnation in the form of the deity to receive all the worship and devotion of the devotees. And Srinivasa became the Archavatara, standing in Tirumala and gracing the whole world, the whole universe, showering wealth, health, and all the spiritual benefits. Venkateshwara has Sri Devi Mahalakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity, within his chest. And this is one of the beautiful attributes of Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara, among so many different characteristics, whether it is his compassion, whether it is his giving attitude, everything is such a beautiful attribute of Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara. One very unique thing is the Vaidurya jewel of Venkateshwara. There's one jewel where Bhagavan Venkateshwara is wearing, which is still not able to be signified with any value. So on Venkateshwara's right chest, he is having the world's costliest jewel. He wears it on the Vaikuntha Ekadasi day, on the Srivatsam, and that jewelry is called Vaidurya. That until today has not found any kind of value, meaning that it is still not able to place how much it is worth, because it is that priceless of a jewel. The great saint and enlightened master Ramanuja had a very beautiful teaching and was a great devotee of Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara. He was once staying for many days in the Tirumala Tirupati temple, and he had gone with the devotees to the top of the hill and was doing this pilgrimage to the Venkateshwara Tirumala Tirupati temple. After going to the top of the hill, the devotees wanted to enjoy some of the food that they got along after being very hungry after a huge journey. So they had found some ants in their food, but Ramanuja immediately stopped them from killing the ants and packed all of the food away again with the ants inside of it and went straight back up the hill. Ramanujacharya had then let go of the food in the hilltops where the Tirumala Tirupati temple is. And he told the devotees, we don't know how many janmas all of these different ants had been waiting in order to receive the punya of Sri Venkateshwara. That is just a beautiful story of the glory of Sri Venkateshwara and how he is revered in our tradition. In the Brahmanda Purana, it contains the Sri Venkateshwara Sahasranamam, which also occurs as the conversations between the sage Vashishta and sage Narada. And the translation says that in the Krita Yuga, the Lord Narasimha, in the Treta Yuga, Lord Sri Rama, in the Dwapara Yuga, Lord Sri Krishna, and in the Kali Yuga, Sri Venkateshwara are all the incarnations of Bhagavan Vishnu. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself has a deep, powerful connection to Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara. In fact, Venkateshwara is a very muscle memory of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. If you do not know, muscle memory is the layer within inside of you, which contains all of your physical habits, whether it is how you walk, the gait, your grace, everything is stored inside of your muscle memory. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has a very significant connection to Venkateshwara, having been literally fed the prasadam of the very first days, initial days when he was conceived and he was in the biological mother of the Supreme Pontiff, had announced that she was carrying. And there are so many benefits of worshipping Bhagwan Sri Venkateshwara. Today, in this darshan, Bhagwan Sri Venkateshwara is manifesting through the Nijavatara, the living incarnation of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. You can receive the blessings and initiation to awaken the wealth consciousness in you today just through this divine darshan. So now let us get into the concept of wealth in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. There are two dimensions of wealth, Shankanidhi and Padmanidhi. Shankanidhi means conquered wealth, conquered from natural resources. Padmanidhi means flowered wealth, like a lotus, created. Padmanidhi is made to flower from natural resources. So these are the two dimensions of wealth creation in the Vedic tradition. And also there are two major gods who are representing wealth, Kubera and Lakshmi. Kubera hoards wealth, hoards and on the wealth, and is representative of the treasury and the stock market. Kubera enjoys a subtle power that is holding wealth. Lakshmi can bring wealth and represents the flowering, circulating, and current wealth. Lakshmi uses wealth to enrich herself and the world. Lakshmi creates wealth effortlessly, uses it freely, and yes. So now let us get into the wealth creation in the Hindu way, how you can manifest wealth. Let us understand the powerful cognitions behind wealth. And first, before doing that, let's first break down how we are now understanding wealth. What is it that we see wealth? First of all, understand two things. One is the ability to achieve what you want in the inner and outer world. And two, just getting stuck in both worlds. There are only these two equations. We never have a downside, we never have an upside. It is only these two things. One is the ability to achieve what you want in the inner and the outer world, and two is just getting stuck, running right, and not being able to be successful in either. Everybody wants wealth, but they do not increase the wealth and the life in them to the level that they want it. Wealth can be equated to the life energy you express. It is a straight question because as on now, a normal man has wealth as a first priority in life. So if you do not have wealth, don't blame anybody. You are not expressing life in you. Life energy is not happening in you. Well, this might be seeming harsh, that you might feel that you are having that life energy inside of you. Just take a few moments and see. For the amount of wealth that you feel that you want to have, and the amount of activism in your life that you need to create that wealth, are we really life energy itself is powerful enough to generate the wealth that you want? Creating wealth is an intrinsic part of your life. Krishna says very beautifully in the Gita, Gahano karmano gatihi, meaning the universe by its nature works, works, and works. If you have at least the goal of creating wealth, you will be creative. Your energy will be channeled properly. The first priority in life should be for moksha, and the second, until the enlightenment happens, it is creating wealth. And in the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we have a beautiful science for how you should achieve this. Creating wealth makes you non-violent. It makes your whole energy become creative. Creating wealth becomes tremendous interest, brings tremendous interest in life and non-violence. And wealth is not just an object or a thing to be achieved. Wealth is the very extension of you. Anything that adds to you is wealth. The quality of the health you enjoy, the state of your relationship, the fulfillment you experience in your career, your mental state, everything is wealth. Wealth is not just money or currency. First, money is one wealth. Second is currency, is another kind of wealth. The assets that you have, all of that is another kind of wealth. Being alive, having activism, and being a workaholic, being alive, energetic every single moment, that is also one wealth. All the four parts put together, everything, that is called wealth consciousness. Wealth consciousness means making a clear decision to break out of the myths and mental patterns that literally impoverish us and draw us again and again into a poverty cycle. And you don't manifest your desire, you manifest your cognition, what you cognize and perceive as reality. You don't have to manifest your desire, you will only what you believe. We never manifest what we want. This is a fundamental cognition that we have to really understand. You manifest what you believe, not what you desire. So deep inside of us, we have to change our fundamental belief. Many of us say, I really desire wealth, but deep down we believe that wealthy people are arrogant people, bad people. They do a lot of wrong things. If you believe that wealthy people are arrogant, bad, wrong, they do many things, and they exploit others, if you have that belief, how are you going to manifest wealth in your life? And your perception is the material out of which your reality is made. Just like a fabric that you make clothes out of. The very fabric, if you have that, then you cannot complain later that you don't like the material. You have to change the fabric that is there in the first place. If you desire wealth, you believe, perceive, cognize wealthy people are bad or wealth is too much responsibility, naturally you will not manifest wealth in your life. So let us now look at all the beliefs that you carry about wealth. Let's give us a breakdown. And if you want, you can start to write down some of your own cognitions. Take ideas from what we are telling you, and you can see what all are your own cognitions. Deep down, truly internalize. Take a few minutes right now, grab a notebook and a pen, and do this exercise and see what are really the cognitions that you have about wealth. I promise you that if you do this just for 15 minutes and just analyze inside of yourself, and you start this process of deeply questioning your fundamental core beliefs, you will see how it starts a shift in you. Wealthy people are arrogant people, bad people. This is one of the common misconceptions that each and every one of us have. And it starts from a very young age. We all carry a deep resistance of wealth, leading to not accumulating wealth. And even if we accumulate it, we certainly just simply lose it. The truth is that arrogance does not come by wealth. Arrogant people will be arrogant whether they have wealth or not. Arrogant, of course, meaning that you feel that you're more important, or you feel that you're known more than other people as well. But if we wrongly associate wealth to arrogance, we start to create a pattern. And then we start to hate wealth as well, the same way that we hate arrogance. Another common misconception that we might have is that poverty is good. Deep inside of us, we label poverty as a good quality. We feel reverence and respect for poverty. But how then, if we create this inside of us, could we generate wealth? Could we generate how much wealth we want in life, how we want to live our lives luxuriously? When we think that poverty, in many streams of society, poverty consciousness and feeling impoverished is seen as something good. And many of us feel that as humbleness. But often our arrogance and attachment to that mentality more and more impoverished and and makes us suffer more and more in our life. Finally, we have another here common misconception, which is that handling wealth is more responsibility. We may feel uncomfortable. We may not feel ready to take on the responsibility that comes with wealth. We always see wealthy people have so many problems, have no time to do what they want. And that is always something that we have to break inside of us. Understand that we also sometimes even think that making money is a sin. The truth is that you have to create as much wealth as you can, celebrate it, share it. Wealth consciousness is a highly creative way of doing that. And some of us even think that you have to be worthy of it. Wealth serves those who are wealthy in their very consciousness. That is the fundamental truth. There is nothing about worth or not in itself. There is nothing worthy. Yes. So we always have to understand anything you cognize, you create a certain energy field about your cognition. You attract situations, people, everything around you to make that cognition into reality. All you need is will persistence. Your decision, you are not going to give up your intention, is will persistence. And your mental patterns goes on affecting you, but you always tell, I'm too busy to repair myself. It is like sitting in a broken car and going on rotating that, handling or pushing and pulling the gears, doing whatever you want. You're not going to move 1 inch. And if somebody says, why don't you repair your broken car? You're not moving. You think, oh, no, I am too busy to repair. I can't get down now and repair because I'm hurriedly going to someplace. Understand how ridiculous this sounds. You're sitting in a broken car. The first thing you have to do is get out, examine the situation, and fix it. You may be desiring wealth, but you may not be believing or perceiving and cognizing it as your possibility. The first and foremost important step we need to do is creating an energy field of attracting wealth. Yes, and who better to be able to do this than with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself? The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has literally given us the sacred secret, the cognition. Just by listening, you can shift everything inside of you and have a breakthrough in your wealth consciousness today. I know that there are so many people out there who are waiting to have that breakthrough in wealth consciousness. So let's now watch beautiful satsang where Swamiji himself delivers.
The first step we need to do, the first step we need to do, looking back, the gap between your desire and your cognitions. How you started perceiving wealth, money. How you started perceiving. The first step we need to do. First step we need to do. How I was introduced to money and looking back, interacting with money. I still remember my 3rd birthday. The gap between your desire, father has given me a Ganesha, and your cognition, who actually ate food. How you started the first step we need to do. The first step we need to do. Looking back, the gap between your desire and your cognitions. How you started perceiving wealth, money. How you started perceiving. I can tell you a small story. First time I was introduced to money and started interacting with money. I still remember my 3rd birthday. My father has given me a Ganesha, who actually ate food. If you have read my biography, you would have read the incident. If you are interested, you can go to YouTube, where I have narrated the whole story. I was given that Ganesha as a gift, and I was so curious and busy with playing with the deity. And then in Indian village we have a habit, all the family elders will give coins on the birthday as a gift to the kids. So I was sitting and playing with my Ganesha, and all the family elders came. I am supposed to bow down to them. It's a tradition. So I touch their feet and they will give money. A lot of money got collected. Must be some 70, 80 rupees. In those days it's a big money, and for a kid it's a too big money. And it was too much of coins and notes, so my father helped me to pack the whole thing in a hand key. So I looked at him and asked, what should I do with this? He said, you can buy whatever you want. I said, I don't need anything. I only wanted this Ganesha. You already gave it to me. I don't need anything. He said, then you can give it to anybody you want. So I just called all my cousins, brothers, everyone was playing. I grew up in a large joint family. 27 of us grew up together. So it's almost like a one school, small school. So all of them were playing. I called in my loud voice, hey, anybody wants, come and take this money? I don't want it. So 4 or 5 kids were running, and my elder brother ran fast and took the whole thing, whole hand key. My father told me to tell my elder brother to share everyone, to share with all. I said, I have decided I don't want. And I said, whoever wants, take it. So he took it. How can I interfere in this after that? It's up to him. I will not even interfere, giving any further instruction to how they should share or who should share and all that. I said I don't want. That's my first relationship with money. I still see very clearly that's the same relationship. Still I don't touch money. I don't handle. Never felt the need. Anyhow, I am not saying this should be your pattern or this should be your I am just giving you an example how I started relating with. So now dig out how you started relating with money. That was actually my completion with money. I touched first time money only to give dana. Still I am doing the same thing. Still I touch money only to give dana. How you cognized money, wealth, what all your perceptions and beliefs and cognitions about money. Let's dig out. Let's get them out first. The moment you remember money, does it bring tremendous pain, suffering, impossibility, all that in you? What is the emotion or energy it invokes in you? So put your pen to paper and just keep writing whatever comes to your mind. Feel tortured, irritated the moment you think of money, whatever you think. Money is difficult, money is impossible, money is, unless you cheat you can't get the money. Even if you cheat it, somebody will cheat from you. So much goes on inside you about money. Your incompletions with money. Just spend few minutes and let's dig out all the incompletions, mental patterns we have, perceptions, beliefs and cognitions we have about money. Listen, the first step we need to do now, cleaning up, completing these mental thought patterns, the incompletion patterns related to wealth, and stopping them from recurring. Please understand. Biggest problem is when you do not recognize something as a pattern, it continues to exist in you and recur. Please understand. Recurring, for example, today you remember, yes, I have a lot of incompletions and patterns. Incompletion means, let me define. Your past sitting in your present, not letting you live your future is incompletion. It has no logic. Because you lost love of somebody, you decide never to love again. It has no logic. Tons of negative decisions, cognitions you make about life is incompletion. I'll give you one small example. 8-year-old kid is in the classroom. Teacher asks, who is the first Prime Minister of India? The kid jumps on the bench and shouts, Mahatma Gandhi. Naturally, the whole class laughs. Because Mahatma Gandhi is not, neither is Mahatma nor is first Prime Minister. Okay, let's leave it. When the whole class laughs, she decides never to come in the front, jump up and be active. Even after 50 years, if she becomes a CEO of a company, in the team meeting, she will be telling her ideas to somebody else and somebody else will be presenting. even if she is the head of the meeting, she will continue to suffer the decision she made at the age of 8. How many of you see this is happening even in your life in some form? That is what I call incompletion. Understand, there is a very powerful science by Sadashiva in Agama. Sadashiva is the first Guru, Adi Guru. He explains in Agama, of course, the moment I utter this word, many will have many questions. What? Sadashiva? He was supposed to be God. Was he Guru? He was supposed to be energy. Was he teaching? Let me be very clear. He is the pure consciousness beyond time and space, but he also assumed form within the time and space. The formless came in form many times and taught the great spiritual truths to the world. We should not even use the word was. Is the right word. He gives a beautiful science of completing with this incompletion patterns, known, unknown. Understand, if you know the reason for certain pattern, it is called known pattern. If you don't know, it is unknown pattern. Sometimes you will have a heaviness, suffocation, but you don't even know why. Unknown pattern. Sometimes you know why you are going through what you are going through. That is known pattern. Known or unknown, you can complete. You can be out of it. It is possible. It is possible. I'll explain this science of completion. Understand, this one technique can help you whether you want to get rid of or your whole ignorance and get into enlightenment. Whether you want as simple as healing your headache or as complicated as enlightenment. Anything, this one technique can give you. This one technique, it is a complete end-to-end, alpha to omega. It's from Sadashiva directly. In the Agama, 94th verse, 22nd technique. The chapter is called Shivajnanopanishad and also called as Vijnana Bhairava. Chittat yanta kritir nasti mamantar bhavayet iti vigalpanam abhavena vigalpair uchito bhavet. You don't have to remember. I am uttering every time so that I will remember. That's all. No, it is just to keep the purity of the teaching. I want all of you to know, whatever I am sharing with you is my personal enlightenment experience, which is in tune with the earlier master's experience. My Apta Pramana, my Atma Pramana in tune with the Apta Pramana, means the earlier masters. The Shastra Pramana. Only that can become your Sakshi Pramana. Never learn from a person who does not have Atma Pramana, enlightenment. He will be only Pandit, repeating. Same way, never learn from a person who claims, yes, enlightenment, but does not keep his experience in tune with the Shastra Pramana and shares with you. It's always dangerous. Maybe it must have been good for him, but we don't know whether it is good for all of you. The Atma Pramana should always be acid washed with Apta Pramana, Shastra Pramana. Only that should become, only that can become Sakshi Pramana, experiential reality for you. Never learn from anybody who has only knowledge, not experience. Same way, never learn from somebody who claims having only experience and does not connect, purify, make it in tune with the Shastra and presents it to you. There is always a danger. If you don't bother about the Shastra Pramana, you may be having kakka biryani. Be careful. Listen. To keep the purity of the teachings, I keep the original Sanskrit verses. I'll give you the translation now. Consciously feel within the mind stuff of past memories of incompletion, with its activities as mind, intellect, and ego not existing in me. By contemplating this way in your inner space, disidentify from the past impressions and memories of completion. Put your active attention at the space of past happening. Relive these imagined impressions and memories of incompletion. Then the mind stop having fully ceased from its present characteristics of forming thought patterns, and thus you become complete space of complete completion. Listen. Now I will explain. I have read out the translation. I'll explain what to do. Now you wrote many of the patterns, incompletions, thought currents you are having about money, ideas, cognitions you developed about money from the young age. Do only one thing. Just go back to that same age when the incidents happened in you, the cognition started building in you, the beliefs started building in you, the idea started building in you, the perception started building in you. Relive the same situation. I am not asking you just remember. Remembering means, for example, something happened at the age of 7 which is still hurting you about money. You asked 1 rupee from your uncle and he did not give, but he gave it to his son. It's still sitting and hurting. If now you are 47, this happened 7. You being 47-year-old person and remembering what happened at the age of 7 is remembering. Forget you are 47. Forget who you are now. You may be having millions. Just become that 7-year-old who asked and did not receive. For you that 1 rupee must have been almost life. I have seen people, they develop even wheezing when they were not given as simple as a chocolate or an ice cream by their friend or family or brother. I have seen. Because for a child, it may be life. Just go back, forget who you are now. Become that person. When that incident happened, relive. Just see what has happened at that time. You will see many of the unknown, suppressed emotions will break. And I tell you, many diseases will be healed. I have seen people walking out of tumors, cancers, asthma, wheezing, just by completion. Because many of your diseases have their roots in some of the incompletions of the past. When you relive, many pain parts in you breaks. Pain bodies collapse. The pain patterns melt down, which completes many other issues which you don't even remember. I have seen when people do completion, to complete the wealth related incompletions, suddenly they get into health, because the same incompletions which created wealth issues only were creating health issues. When they melt down, people become free even from both. Listen carefully. I'll repeat once more. Now you would have written so many patterns, incompletions, thought currents, ideas, cognitions. Take few minutes. Go back to each incident, each pain, each hurting. Relive, relive, relive. Don't justify what happened. Don't try to console yourself. No consolation will work. No justification will work. Neither help others nor try to help yourself. Just relive. I've seen when somebody has tears, others try to console. No, relax. You are not more compassionate than me. Let me do that job. You don't interfere in my job. Let you just go through. Even you don't try to console yourself. That is not going to work. If something has to break inside, let it break. It's okay. When you relive, the powerlessness, incompletion, loses power over you. I'll guide you step by step. And I commit with you, I'll lead you all to completion. And I know how to awaken, trigger the incompletions in you and break them, help you to relive and relieve. I am supporting all of you. Have courage. Let's clean up. The first step we need to do, the first step we need to do, looking back, the gap between your desire and your cognitions.
Yes.
How you started
Now
perceiving
let us
wealth,
enter into the
money.
next segment and enter into the exercise.
How you started perceiving.
Sorry for the technical glitch. So now let us enter into the next exercise. Understand how we can create this space of completion in order to manifest what exactly we want. How do we create this energy field? Yeah, so we can go ahead and enter the exercise, all of the incompletions and patterns you carry about wealth, and create a right space, a powerful magnetic energy center in you to attract wealth, situations, and people that support you to create wealth like magnetic energy center for manifesting wealth the way that you want. So let us first complete with all our incompletions as well. Dig out all of the incompletions about money, whether it is about making money or about saving money, whatever the incompletions may be. Just start digging out whatever incompletions, incomplete cognitions that you carry about wealth. Keep writing whatever comes to your mind the moment you remember money. Does it bring tremendous pain, suffering, impossibility? All of that in you. What is the emotion or energy it invokes in you? The moment you think of money, whatever you feel and think, money is difficult, money is impossible. Unless you cheat, you can't get money. Even if you cheat, somebody will cheat from you. So much goes on inside of you about money, your incompletions with money. Just spend a few minutes now. Let's dig out all of those incompletions, the beliefs, the mental patterns that we have, the perceptions, the cognitions that we have about money. So let us spend the next 5 minutes digging out all of our incompletions about money, about wealth, and write them all down right now. now that we've spent time writing down the information that we carry about money, let us move to the next step of the process. Slide, please. So now, for each belief or cognition, it starts from a particular incident. Identify those incidents when the wrong belief or incompletion began inside of you, whether it was about whether you feel that you can't earn money or that you can only cheat and have money, whatever the incompletion that you carry about wealth is, dig out the incident from the root incident from which that cognition has built and relive and believe each of those incidents. Complete those incompletions. Go back to that same age when the incident happened, when the idea, the belief, the perception started building inside of you, and relive every single moment of that incident so you can complete with that, relive and relieve each of those incidents. So spend some time now identifying those incidents and reliving and relieving those incidents. Whether you were 7 years old or 5 years old, whatever age you were when that incompletion began inside of you, that same incident and exactly as you were when you were 5, when you were 7, whatever age you may have been, and complete each of these incidents. So now let's spend the next 5 minutes doing that. that we have spent time reliving and reliving, completing each of these instants, let us move on to the next step of the process. Now, let us consciously decide what it is that we want to manifest within the next 3 months in the dimension of wealth. So write down clearly what it is that what is your intention? What is it that you want to manifest in the next 3 months in the field of wealth? Whether you think as well, whatever you think as well, maybe money as well, currency, a person as a wealth for your life, situations as wealth for your life, or for some, being active is a wealth. People feel even extraordinary powers as their wealth. So whatever you consider as your wealth, whatever that you want to manifest, attract in the next 3 months. Please pen those down now. Yes. So we will spend the next 5 minutes penning down what it is that we want to manifest in the dimension of wealth. Now let us move on to the next part. Let us understand exactly how we can manifest what it is that we want to manifest in the next 3 months. It is through Guru's grace that we can manifest anything that we want in the dimension of wealth. With deep devotion and oneness with the Guru, you can complete all the binding cognitions on wealth and manifest life with prosperity and abundance. In the Guru Gita, it describes the Guru. The syllable Guru is darkness, and the syllable Guru is said to be light. There is no doubt that the Guru is indeed the supreme knowledge that swallows the darkness of ignorance. And in verse 18 of the Guru Gita, it states, always remember the Guru's form, constantly repeat the divine name given by the Guru, always follow the Guru's command, think of nothing other than the Guru. Verse 11 states, out of compassion for you, I shall tell you how the embodied soul becomes Brahman, having been purified of all sins by serving the feet of the Guru. So you can see the greatness of just worshipping the Guru's feet. So who is a Guru? The Guru is not a vyakti, a person, as you imagine. He is a tattva, a principle. He is simply a physical representation of the divine. In the Vedic tradition, the spiritual teacher, the Guru, is said to be more important than God. God is always and everywhere, but it is the Guru who opens the disciples' eyes to the existence. Guru is the doorway to one's own experience of divine. Guru exists as the embodiment, the manifestation, manifest form of God, Paramashiva, and God, Paramashiva, is the unmanifest form of Guru. God is the state of Guru. Guru is the statement of God. Gurus are the manifest of Paramashiva, and Paramashiva is the unmanifest existence of Guru. And Guru Bhakti, devotion to the Guru, is intense, pure existential energy which can liberate you from all known, unknown, and unnecessary delusion. So just worshiping the feet of the Guru is enough to liberate you from all of your incompletions with wealth and help you manifest what it is that you want in the dimension of wealth. So in the coming segments, we will understand how to offer our love and gratitude to the Guru through the various offerings. Now we will be having a very special program, the Venkateshwara readings, with the blessings of the Supreme Concept of Hinduism, Jagatguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. A group of disciples have been initiated to have the Sarupya of Venkateshwara, embodying the grace and form of Venkateshwara. So anyone can ask any questions or prayers to Bhagavan Venkateshwara, and Bhagavan Venkateshwara will respond to the initiated disciples. So now you have an opportunity to ask your questions in the Venkateshwara reading directly to Bhagavan Venkateshwara and receive your prayers, blessings answered. So you can go ahead and fill out your questions at tinyurl.com/reading. So we will project that form for you for a few moments. So you can go ahead and visit and fill out any of your questions or requests for blessings from Bhagavan Venkateshwara. So now we will be witnessing a beautiful darshan of Swamiji and Bhagavan Venkateshwara in a video shortly, and then we will be entering into the Venkateshwara reading. So do stay tuned. We will be entering into that shortly after this video.
नारायण गोविंद माधवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद केशवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद माधवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद केशवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद माधवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद केशवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद माधवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद केशवा हर नित्या नित्यानंता हर नित्या हरे 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 नित्या नित्यानंता हरे नित्या हरे 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 नित्या नित्यानंता हरे नित्या हरे 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 नित्या नित्यानंता हरे नित्या हरे हरे नित्य नारायण गोविंद माधवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद केशवा 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 हरे नित्या नित्यानंता हरे नित्या हरे 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 नित्य नारायण गोविंद माधवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद केशवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद माधवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद ಕೇಶವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಕೇಶವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಕೇಶವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಕೇಶವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ. ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಕೇಶವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಕೇಶವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಕೇಶವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಕೇಶವ ಹರ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಿತ್ಯನಂತ ಹರ ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರೆ 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 ನಿತ್ಯ ನಿತ್ಯನಂತ ಹರೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರೆ 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 ನಿತ್ಯ ನಿತ್ಯನಂತ ಹರೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರೆ 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 ನಿತ್ಯ ನಿತ್ಯನಂತ ಹರೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರೆ ಹರೆ. ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಕೇಶವ 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 ಹರೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಿತ್ಯನಂತ ಹರೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರೆ 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 ನಿತ್ಯ ನಿತ್ಯನಂತ ಹರೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರೆ 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 ನಿತ್ಯ ನಿತ್ಯನಂತ ಹರೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರೆ 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 ನಿತ್ಯ ನಿತ್ಯನಂತ ಹರೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ಹರೆ ಹರೆ. ನಿತ್ಯನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ, ನಿತ್ಯನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಕೇಶವ. 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 ನಿತ್ಯನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಮಾಧವ.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham.